doing this evening? Back again with another video for y'all. And once again, I'm just doing this real quick video primarily because I wanted to test out the microphone performance on the Boltune Truly Wireless Earbuds 2nd generation. And I also wanted to give y'all a low light camera sample with the front facing camera on the Pixel 2 XL. But also, to go along with that, I wanted to just give y'all my first impressions and my first opinions on the OnePlus 8 Pro. Now, as y'all know, your boy does not have a OnePlus 8 Pro, but I've been watching a lot of content on it and reading a lot of articles on it, and I just want to give you my overall impressions of it so far, just from a content consumption standpoint, all right? And whether or not I would recommend it, okay? So, starting off, I just want to commend OnePlus finally for coming out with a flagship, an actual flagship. For years now, OnePlus was always that budget flagship, or aka flagship killer, that they like to tout, but they did so at the expense of cutting out premium flagship features, right? Like the IP rating or the wireless charging or the cameras. But I guess this year they decided that they were never going to settle for real, and they finally decided that, okay, we're going to compete with the actual flagships now, and they came out with an actual flagship, and I gotta say, they did a great job. So their new OnePlus 8 and OnePlus 8 Pro, in my opinion, are really good. In particular, in this video though, I just want to talk about the OnePlus 8 Pro. Now, starting off, the build, that all-glass build with that frosted, grippy back looks amazing, okay? It looks amazing, all right? And I'm not surprised. The build quality on OnePlus devices has been great for years now. And every year I was just wondering, when are they going to make that jump to the actual flagship arena? And they did it this year, and the build of the device looks great. Next, that display, okay, that 6.78 inch 2K display. That display looks great. Now, they touted it for being extremely color accurate and having 10-bit color support and that 120 hertz refresh rate. To be honest with y'all, I really don't care about all of that. That's just fancy stuff that makes it look good on paper. But what I care about is from the content that I saw, that display looks great. Whether it was in direct sunlight or indoors, that display looks great. And also, if I'm keeping it straight 100 with y'all, I don't really care for the high refresh rate displays. I played around with a few of them, and I can't really tell the difference. So because I can't tell the difference and I don't really feel a difference in performance, I really don't care for the high refresh rate displays. So if I ever was to pick up a newer OnePlus device, I'll probably just rock it at the 60 hertz instead of making it go overkill with the 120 hertz. But it's a beautiful looking display nevertheless. Now, I am a little bit disappointed because I kind of wanted them to stick with that bezel-less display from the 7 Pro and the 7T Pro. So to see them go backwards, in a sense, to the punch hole camera, I was kind of disappointed by that. I thought they was going to stick with the bezel-less display and then use their camera shade technology to kind of gray out the front-facing camera, or just stick with the pop-up camera for another year. That to me would have been awesome. So I was kind of disappointed to see that they kind of took a step backwards by adding the punch hole. And also, I was kind of disappointed to see that they made the display even curvier this year. And a lot of content creators are complaining about a lot of false touches. So I already knew that the curvier the display, the more false touches you were going to have. So those were the two downsides that I see already from the display. But other than that, it's a really, really good display. And as for the rest of the device, the software in true OnePlus fashion, it's extremely fast, extremely smooth, and they're generally good about keeping it up to date and releasing the security patches, so no issues there with the software. In terms of the hardware, y'all know it comes out in two different configurations. You got the 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of onboard storage with no micro SD card expansion. That one's going to run you $900. And then you have the full maxed out version, the 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of onboard storage with no micro SD card expansion. That one's gonna run you $1,000. Okay, and honestly, I probably would recommend the base configuration because I've been rocking Pixel XL first generation for a few months now, and it has 128 gigs, and I'm still nowhere close to filling it up. So I would just say go with the base configuration if you're trying to decide between the two, because 8 gigs of RAM makes it plenty fast enough, and the storage speeds that they have for their internal storage in combination with the 8 gigs of RAM, it's going to be a screamer. It's going to fly. It's going to be buttery smooth. I can't think of any more speedy terms to use. But in terms of the performance, it's going to be in typical OnePlus fashion. It's going to be great. So no issues there. But the big thing for me that I was extremely excited to see this year is that they finally included wireless charging, and they went a step further to include the fast wireless charging on top of that, even though you have to stick with their proprietary Warp Charge 30 wireless charging. I'm okay with that because it's giving you the same charging speeds as plugging it in wired. So not only do you get the fast Warp Charge 30 wired charging, but you're getting the fast Warp Charge 30 wireless charging. And for the longest time, I felt like wireless charging is what OnePlus was missing on their devices. So I was really excited to see that, especially being a consumer that uses wireless charging daily. So really good stuff there. And then finally, they went ahead and improved their cameras, and they just gave you some decent cameras out of the box, and I'm sure they'll come out with some software updates to make it better as time goes on. And I feel like this was a much better launch for OnePlus in terms of what you get out of the box, as opposed to last year where they touted their cameras as being so great, only for it to come out and for everybody to be very disappointed, and then for them to have to go back and fix it via the software updates. They actually came out with a solid performing camera this year, and it's going to only get better over time. So I was kind of very happy to see that. Everybody else is kind of happy that they have waterproofing, but they've had waterproofing for a while. They just never really paid for the waterproofing certification. At the end of the day, your company, you got to try and cut costs where you can cut costs at. So yeah, but other than that, it seems like a really good device. I've watched a few camera comparisons. It definitely looks like a decent performer. So far, watching everybody's first impressions videos, the battery life seems good. I'm trying to stay away from the full reviews because I got some content creators. I'm waiting for them to get their devices before I dig into the OnePlus 8 Pro content big time, because there's a few content creators that I have to see their content when they get the devices, because I feel like they're some of the most authentic and real content creators on the YouTube platform, or just content creators in general. And I feel like that's what we're kind of stepping away from on the YouTube platform. Everything is getting super commercialized, and the realism is kind of going by the wayside. So, you know, but it is what it is. In terms of the device, for the price, we're not even really going to look at the OnePlus 8 because, to be honest with you, it should be a lot cheaper for the stuff that they take away. Because with the OnePlus 8, you don't get the same tier cameras, okay? You don't get the wireless charging, which was a big one. and in certain instances you don't get the waterproofing. So in essence, the OnePlus 8 is just a regular mid-range flagship or premium mid-range device. So I'm not really happy about the OnePlus 8, but rumor has it the OnePlus Z is probably going to be dropping around the same time as the OnePlus 8 T. And if that comes out, that's going to be their successor to the OnePlus X. So I'm kind of excited about that if it actually comes out, because that's what, to be honest with y'all, when I watched the OnePlus event, I was really looking forward to the OnePlus 8 Pro and the OnePlus Z. Now, I knew they were supposed to be dropping 3 devices this year, but I didn't really care for that middle device, which turned out to be the OnePlus 8. That one just wasn't appealing to me. But the OnePlus Z and the OnePlus 8 Pro, yeah, I was kind of happy when I was looking up the specs and the rumors for those. And for the most part, the rumors were pretty much correct. I mean, nowadays, when the rumors come out, they're pretty much 8 out of 10 correct anyway, so I wasn't really surprised by that. But can I recommend the OnePlus 8 Pro right now? Well, if you're in the market for a premium flagship device, and when I say premium flagship device, that means devices $500 and upwards. If you're in the market for that type of device, then yes, I can recommend it already, even though that I haven't really had the chance to play around with it myself. But from what I see with the content creators that I checked out, I can recommend it, especially because now it's one of the cheapest all-around flagships, premium flagship devices that you can get your hands on. So yeah, and I'll be sure to leave some really good content creators linked up down below in the video description, so you can check out their coverage on the OnePlus 8 Pro and let me know what y'all think. And also, are y'all excited about the OnePlus 8 Pro or the OnePlus Z? Let me know. Let's get into a nice, respectful conversation down below in the comments. I'll see you guys and gals down there. And also, let me know what y'all think of the front-facing camera performance on the Pixel 2 XL and the microphone performance of the Bluetooth True Wireless earbuds, 2nd generation. Let me know. All feedback is welcome down below. Have a good one, y'all, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace. We out of here.